Hello you, welcome to Geekism and welcome back to Planquatica, our water park in Planet Coaster 2. I'm recording this voiceover very early in the morning, which means I've got my very wide voice. I don't know why, but I always have a really deep voice for like an hour on a morning. Really deep. Comparatively, I guess. I'll start sounding like this by the end of the day. Anyway, we're back in Planquatica. It's been a little hot minute. I've actually been in Planet Coaster 2 quite a bit over the last few weeks. Actually, I've done a lot of building in Meanderville. I've started working on episode 2 of Saving Storybook, which is a remake of a local kids play park here. And I really want to sort of finish up Planquatica. It's so close. We're at that 80% mark, I think, with it. And look, I'll be honest with you. I have a habit of kind of just wandering off from series. And I feel like I've spoke about this a little bit over the years on the channel. The problem is I kind of treat games just like how you do, in that, like, when you get bored of a game, you just stop playing it, you know? Like, that's what we do with video games. I just so happens that I record mine, but that's not fair. It's not fair because you folks are wanting closure that I'm not providing, and I feel awful that I just constantly edge you with these series that don't end. So I'm really trying to make a point of finishing and letting you know this was the last episode, or you know, if it's like a regular Let's Play, or with something like this, actually just pulling my finger out my butt and finishing the build. So I've been playing a lot in Planet Coaster and really getting into a vibe again with it. And hopefully we'll box this off. So today, just a bit of a one-off, a bit of a bottle episode, this one really. This was started when the Western... Now, so these all blend into one with these updates now, because usually there's the monthly... what do they call it? The Frontier Unlocked, where they show you what's coming the next month, but then those have often been just before the current one comes out. And then also as a content creator, I usually get like a week or two early on them as well, which is incredible. Thank you, Frontier, if you're watching. It's very useful to get in there and get the sort of announcement videos ready and stuff. So it kind of all blends into one as to which one's which. But I think update 4 was Western, and then update 5 was sci-fi, and then update 6 will be fantasy and or fairy tale and pirate. I forget what they call it, fantasy or fairy tale, I forget. But, you know, spires and dragons and princesses, that sort of stuff. So I think I could have opened up the game and played around a little bit with Western, and then didn't really do much with it. I ended up looking at some other stuff. Update 5 really got me looking back into it. And whilst the updates are incredible, honestly, they've really sort of, you know, steadied the ship here. The updates have been incredible. I'm really vibing with the game again. I'm really happy with where it is now. I look forward to seeing what the future holds, but right now I think the game is in a really great place. That has really helped invigorate my sort of creativity and bringing time back into the game. But honestly, the thing that's really got me back in is just seeing other people also start to vibe with the game again, or maybe even for the first time. Just seeing things shared on Discord, you know, both in my own Discord and places like Bro Nation, seeing things shared on Reddit, just seeing more sort of positivity around the game, and seeing other YouTube content as well is really sort of, it just gets me. I just like watching that stuff and seeing people do clever things in the game makes me want to come and in part try and come up with my own clever stuff, and also just in part just steal things. I'll every now and again I'll see somebody use a piece in an interesting way and I'll be like, oh, I'm totally stealing that. I am. I was watching the awesome Jan, incredible Planet Coaster player, somehow manages to do it all on console as well, which blows my mind. But I was watching a live stream of his whilst just finishing off this building. Actually, at the end of this video, I will have been watching him. And he was building a sci-fi vending machine. So he got a regular vending machine, and then he'd built this sort of sci-fi cover over the top of it. Really awesome. And he used individual letters from the see-through signs attached to one of the rotating things on the top of the thing, and it kind of looked like a hologram going round. Very sort of like Blade Runner, very sort of like Total Recall, you know, that sort of real 80s vibe of sci-fi, these rotating letters, and it was awesome. And it's just little things like that just goes in my back pocket. I'm not really working on anything sci-fi right now, but just the idea of having those letters rotate. We'd already done single letters in the first episode of Meanderville for a round sign, but it didn't even occur to me to think, oh, if I could just stick that on one of those motion things, they just turn around. I'll be honest with you, my brain doesn't work very well with those motion things. Like, people are doing incredible stuff with them. You know, obviously Taggy has done some awesome stuff. I know SB Ridley has been playing around with some stuff, and I just see other people, around the socials doing great stuff as well. And my head just doesn't work like that. But it's really impressive what some stuff people are doing with them. So, anyway, let's talk a little bit about this build then. So it's going to be a barbecue. Building a restaurant, and I started it, like I said, when the Western Pack came out. Didn't really do much else with it, and then I came back and started working on it again maybe a week or so ago, and then Mass Bandit came out with an awesome video where he built the BBQ, which is a sort of themed barbecue restaurant that he's had in parks through the years, based on obviously the Bro Nation and the Bro Coaster and all that sort of stuff. Did a really incredible job of basically building a barbecue restaurant with using the Western theme. He did a restaurant and then a QSR, quick service restaurant, the sort of counter style restaurant, and then even a cart as well, like that just sort of sold hot dogs or what have you. And it was awesome. And it would literally, I'll look at YouTube every day, every morning. I'll go on and see what people have put out, and then I'll just right click on the thumbnails and click add to watch later, and I build up stuff there, and I'll often end up with like 5 or 6 hours worth of stuff there, and then when I sit down to play, I just put that on and let it run. So even though you might not see me necessarily in comments very much on people's content, if it's a Planet Coaster 2 video, I'm watching it. I pretty much get through all of it, but it's on my second monitor whilst I'm building myself, and his popped up. And I was like, oh, crap, he's just built what I'm building, and he's done it probably a little better than I'm going to do it as well. So this building did end up having a slight pivot in its design, because originally it really lent into the to the Western scenery stuff. It had got cowboys and cow skulls and all that everywhere. So I actually sort of stripped it back a little bit and slightly changed the design a bit, which we'll talk about in a moment. But Mass very correctly said that a lot of the barbecue places are either sort of real sort of Texan yeehaw stirrups and cow skulls, or they're kind of a bit bougie, and the food's going to come out on a little metal tray, and you're paying another $7 just for some fries. It's that kind of place. So I decided, seeing as he'd gone a little bit more onto the sort of traditional Western style look of it, I thought, well, let's see if we could try lean into the bougie thing a little bit more. The building itself, I actually think it's almost reminiscent of like the Pizza Hut kind of buildings, the ones that you can sort of spot them now repurposed. There's one just down the road from us that's a florist, weirdly, but it's got that Pizza Hut roof. They're kind of fun to try and spot them there. They're sort of remnants, archaeological finds from the 90s. So it kind of got a little bit of that vibe, a little bit chain restaurant-y vibe, but it's kind of started to sort of dial itself up a little bit and move into that slightly more sort of modern look. It's got a lot of like brushed steel around and corrugated steel and that sort of thing. And I'm really quite happy with how it came out. I wanted to use the new restaurant there and try and tie it into a larger kitchen space, which I think has worked out pretty well. It's kind of a shame that restaurant thing has counters all the way around, because if it didn't, you'd really be able to hide it in all of this stuff. But as it stands, I don't think I've done a terrible job of making it sort of fit. And the other thing I really figured out is the best way to build these buildings is to go inside out. So you'll see here that there's just a foundation on the ground, just like a 1 inch or 1 meter wall, that is that's sort of showing the space of it. And then we're going to build all of the inside, and then we put a sort of skin over the exit, and I think that really helps, honestly, building this. The few times I've done interiors in the past, I've gone the other way around and built the building and then tried to get the camera underneath, and if you've ever tried it, you'll know what it's like. Very difficult to do. Definitely think this is the way to go, is to build it inside out. So here we're sort of doing all of the interior detail, and then we'll basically stick a roof on it. As far as prices go here, I kind of pulled them out my butt, but I kind of wanted like theme park prices. It's just all a little higher than you really want to pay. And again, I don't know, it's probably US pricing, so it's probably even a little higher as well. I went to a bar the other day for a trivia night, and there wasn't a single thing on the menu under $20 over, apart from like the Caesar salad, basically. And even that was like 16 and then $4 to add chicken. I don't know. It's getting really expensive to eat out, hey? I don't eat out too often. I actually really enjoy cooking, so I cook a lot. But this was for my birthday. We went out. I say it was for my birthday. We go to this trivia every other week, but we went a little early and ate as part of a bit more of a celebration. Oh, these ropes, by the way, that's like the last vestige of the like leaning into the western. They don't come down, but the rest does sort of move away from it, but they actually stay there. So that's a nice little nod to the original version of this building. Anyway, yeah. So I went for some food, and everything was 20. Even just like a regular cheeseburger, $20. The half rack of ribs I think was $23, and the full rack was like 35 or something like that. So yeah, it kind of amazed me actually. Stuff is expensive to eat out now. It's kind of crazy. So I kind of went right like that kind of idea with the pricing, but it might be way off. I don't know. I kind of just went for regular pricing and stuck $5 on everything because it's a theme park. All right, so that's the kitchen done pretty much, and now we're going to work on the I think we do a little bit work on the interior now, and then I've also made it so that the exterior, I might have done that a little bit off camera there. The exterior has like a pickup bar, so you can sort of sit out and just grab like hot dogs and burgers if you want to sort of, if you don't want to change out of your swim clothes and you want to eat outside, because you've got to remember this is a water park. Although I am going to blueprint this and throw it up because I feel like there's nothing really water parky about it. So I thought I'd blueprint this. It's not very often I build something that can be blueprinted, to be honest. All my builds are swans. Like, the top bit looks nice, but the legs are going at it under the water. So very often the things I build are like made up of 20 different buildings all squished together. There's stuff going into the ground. There's bits at the back that we just hide with some foliage. But this is actually relatively self-contained, and so I'm going to put it on the workshop. I don't normally do that, but if it's something you're interested in using yourself, there's a link in the description, and I would love to see it used. So if you do use it, send a screenshot on our Discord. I'd love to see it placed in situ in other places. Okay, so here's where... So I stripped a lot of this out, and I'm going back in and redoing this now. And I really wanted to kind of get that that sort of Pizza Hut vibe. So rather than doing blinds, I've done some really nice blinds that I think look great in Meanderville's restaurant that will be coming soon. With this, I was like, no, I kind of want this to have some pretty grungy curtains that are, maybe a little hard and a little thick with grease, like I don't know why. I just thought it'd be nice to do this one a little dingier. So these Viking curtains are actually really modular. There's lots of different pieces. They've got a lot of gold trim on them that you kind of have to hide. You can't recolor it. So I've used some black piping there to cover most of the bar along the top, and then they also have a little gold trim that sort of holds them together at the bottom, but they have these little, I don't know what they call it, like a knot piece, I guess, like a knuckle that you can cover those up with, so that's good. I would love a few more options for diner booths as well. There's currently just the one in the game that came with the restaurant update, and it's okay. It's nice and generic, but ones that look a little fancier would be nice as well as an option. All I do with these ones here, because the booth seating actually works quite well for this restaurant, I just used some metal pieces. I think it's actually a door to give it that brushed metal that a lot of these places have, that sort of brushed stainless steel. A little grungy, a little kind of gross, and you're like, am I okay to eat off this? I'd really rather just like a ceramic plate. And then we do enough places for people to sit, and then we do a bit of fake as well. Fake seating as well, just to kind of flesh it out, just so the whole start of that space isn't just the back of booths. We do some bench seating as well. That'd be another nice thing with these booths. It'd be nice to be able to, either with a toggle or just give us multiple options. It'd be really nice if you could have it so that one side of the table is the booth, and then the other side is a couple of stools or a couple of chairs. It would be really great for like the end caps of rows of this kind of diner seating, because this is a a restaurant, but it's meant to be a very serviceable get in, get out, get back on the water slides restaurant. You'll see in the restaurant that I'm building in Meanderville that I'll hopefully be able to show you soon. That's a lot more. I tried to make that at least look a little bit more like a proper restaurant that you come in and sit down and enjoy your time in. But this is. A lot of these places in theme parks and water parks, they almost have like a canteen feel to them. It's get your food, get your money spent, get it out, and then get back out there onto the floors, spending money on the other stuff. So I kind of wanted that to go there with that. So here you'll see then once the seating's in, we sort of box off the roof. I would like you to tell me in the comments, is it too dark? Don't comment right now because I'll show some nice pictures at the end where I've tweaked the lighting a little bit. One of the great features, I think, with Update 5 is that you can just set lights to always be on now. I would love that to be the standard. It currently, they're defaulted to night only. But I want my lights on, really. Like, unless I'm building a dark ride, I guess that might make a difference. But no, if I'm putting a light in, I want it on, don't I? I don't know. For me personally, the default should be this light is on. If I only want it on at night time, that should be an option I can pick. That'd be nice because at the minute I'm having to go through and change them all as I place them down. But still, saying that, it's really a great feature. I imagine it's very useful for proper dark rides that we haven't really got around to doing yet. But even just for these interiors, it's fantastic. The lighting is so beautiful in this game compared to its original that you really just want to be able to use that subtle daytime lighting. And it's the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing now, which is building this super North American mall roof with these big triangular glass roof windows. Because I just want some of that gorgeous sort of dynamic lighting coming through. It looks a little janky from the outside, but I think it looks okay. There are a lot of buildings like this here with these sort of big roof windows. What's the word? Why can't I think of the word? Roof window doesn't sound right. What are they called? Skylight. Boom, we got there in the end. Skylights I built. Again, it sort of leans again into that kind of like that 90s buffet restaurant vibe, that Pizza Hut vibe, the Swiss chalet. I don't know if that's in America or if that's just Canada. Love them, by the way. There's one just opened by me, and I've been there like 3 times in as many weeks. It's a chicken place. It's like a chicken dinner place. If for those of you who don't know, you'll go there and get like a quarter of a chicken, but it's not like a Nando's. It's very white food. There's no flavor. Other than Nando's is pretty white, I guess. But there's no like spice to it. It's roast chicken, gravy and potatoes. It's that kind of thing. But they do a roast beef as well, and it's so good. Talking of meat, this is the sign for the place, and I really wanted one of those. I really wanted it to be named. You see these places, and they're usually like it's a chain restaurant, and it's probably owned by like a TV chef, but he's never actually set foot in half of them. That sort of divers, what's it called? The diners, drive-ins, and dives type vibe, that like, we're cool because we don't care, and like I say, everything's served on a metal tray, and everything's probably $10 more than it needs to be. That's kind of the vibe I wanted to go for, and I really wanted to lean into that with the name of the place. So I didn't want to just call it, barbecue joint or whatever. So this is the Fat Pig Barbecue. And I just think that fits perfectly. Just a really lean into the idea that it's fun to be messy and greedy and pig out a little bit with this kind of food. And I think that works really well. You've got there, saucy grills and filthy meats. And then that pig there, the PIG, that's we've sort of done like a shadow box type thing there. There's a light behind that, so that pig lights up really nice at night time, which I'll show you in a moment. That was kind of the idea here. Really happy with the pig silhouette, to be honest with you. I think it's turned out pretty well. It's not my forte, this kind of stuff. Mass Bandit does some incredible stuff with signs like this. SP Ridley's a wonder with art shapes. A lot of people are able to do some really great stuff with this. I kind of just muddle my way through it until I start getting frustrated with it, and I'm like, that's good enough. Like, I'm really happy with the pig. The fat and the BBQ are fine. You know, like it's a little blocky. I could probably spend longer with smaller art shapes and make it a little bit more curved, but I'm like, yeah, no, that says barbecue. That'll do. Let's go. That gets into place, and the last thing I do is just fill this little green. There's going to be a lot of like just dirt triangles with plants on them that will probably fill out in some live streams, but I thought let's break this up a little bit and do a little bit of water, although I'm not sure. As I did this, I was like, I wonder, do water parks really have this? Do they have areas of water that you can't swim in? Because I do wonder about that. You know, is there some sort of like health and safety thing where, you know, in a water park you've got to very clearly differentiate if this is a pool or if it's a water feature. So I don't know. I might spend a little afternoon just having a look on Google Maps and see if I can find see if I can find the precedent for this, basically, as to whether or not it's okay to have a little bit of water that's not for, you know, not for kids to get into, basically. But just wanted to change it up and not just do another sort of brown triangle with trees on top of it. But yeah, overall pretty happy with it. Obviously, it's, you know, it's sort of not quite fully in situ yet. We need to sort of flesh out the spots around it. I do the whole sort of tree scenery brush at the end then just to get the thumbnail pick, but you know, eventually we'll have to sort of decide really how this sort of sits properly in the area. But overall, yeah, this is probably the first sort of real thing I built since coming back to the game, although I haven't really gone away from the game. I just haven't really been sitting down and being like, no, come on, let's sort of churn, let's sort of get something built. And with this game, honestly, that's kind of where I am now. It's like, you know, if I'm enjoying it, if I'm feeling inspired, I will get in and build stuff, but I'm really not just trying to like get out a video a week. There's a chance there will be a Planet Coaster video a week for a bit while I'm sort of, you know, while I've got the mojo, while I'm feeling it, but I'm not sort of getting them out for the sake of it. I really want to sort of get stuff out because I think it's good, you know. And in the meantime, there's lots of other fun stuff on the channel. You know, lots of like beautiful city builders. I would really recommend going watching Town to City videos if you haven't already. That's a beautiful little city builder. There's lots of other bits coming on the channel. It's Steam Next Fest we're coming into now, so I'm going to be trying covering stuff that I find interesting on there as well. But yeah, nice to be back in Planco, nice to be showing you some of it. I appreciate you bearing with me and waiting, and I hope this doesn't fall on dead ears because everyone's doesn't care about me playing Planco anymore. Yeah, do some glamour shots and you'll see daytime and nighttime. Thanks so much for watching. Love you all to bits. Till the next one, be good.